At the beginning of my model railway design layout, I wanted to do a lift out section here, and I came up with a brilliant idea of cutting the section in a curve, both ends, so that it wouldn't move that way and it wouldn't move that way, and on its own it was absolutely fantastic. Perfect. Track laid, no problems at all. So I then decided now was the time. I got all the electrics done, the track was laid. I cut the track with my Dremel, which is a fantastic little tool, so I could lift the section out, and it, just like that, absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, I've just told you a little porky, because it's absolute rubbish. These tracks around here are curved, so when you get to a point where you cut something here with the Dremel on a curve, the rail springs slightly, and I've used lots of track pins to try and correct that. And the one thing that I couldn't correct is the fact that when the single piece of track is laid, any undulation in where the board meets the board, 0.5 millimetre, is taken up in the track, so it's not noticed. As soon as you cut it, you get to the situation where, there we go, and we've come off, and that's just there, just a little bit, just no good at all. So the whole idea of doing that, forget it, don't try it, it doesn't work. I've got to crawl underneath, which is undignified, because, you know. So apart from making a mistake on the lift out section, I also made a mistake on this, which I thought was a very good idea, and a couple of other people suggested it. Putting fairy lights in underneath, so you can see what you're doing. What a fantastic idea. I put them in the wrong place. What I should have done, I should have put them here, on just inside here, so the light reflects that way, because at the moment when they're there and I'm wiring here, the light is in my eyes, which is no good. So if you're going to do it, don't do it that way. Put the lights on the nearest side to you, not the furthest away. What you're going to go and see now is a first for me. I've never done ballasting in my life. I'm very lucky living in the West Country. I got hold of this product. There we go. It's marketed by a chap in near Tavistock, I do believe. He's worked in quarries all his life, and he's produced these natural stone products, and I haven't got a clue if you can read that. There's his phone number there and his name. I hope you can see that. It's 07581119781. The actual ballast is a grey, coarse he calls it, so I'm not sure if that's any good to you, if you can see that. Looks good to me, not really sure if it's right or wrong. Now the other thing I did, I saw this advertised. It's by Howarth or Walthers, which is a company over in America, and luckily my cousin was going over there, so I said, get this for me, track spreader. And I'm thinking, oh, that looks brilliant, doesn't it? That really looks good. They know what they're talking about. And of course I've got it back here, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my god, I should have bought the proper one, or the one everybody else uses. So anyway, what you have to do, and I must say I'm saying very good big thanks to 3 people. and I've seen all their videos and followed them for ages. We've got Dave's Model Railway, we've got Everard Junction, and we've got Dave 47, which is the chap up in Scotland. And they're all brilliant at what they do, and I follow them religiously. And I'm just putting all together bits and pieces of what they do for my bit. So anyway, the first thing you've got to do, put it on there, run it along, so any nails that are in the way you've knocked down. Okay, so I've done that. The only sticking point I've got is where I've got my cables going down and my very bad soldering. It goes along, come on, I did it before, it goes along and stops. So I'm going to do that by hand, but then it goes on the other side and we're away. Now, the beauty about this one supposedly is when you have the two dots lined up, the gravel goes through. When you turn it, you've stopped it, so you can lift it up. So, I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, but the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some gravel in there. Now bear in mind, this is the first time I've ever done this in my life. I didn't even have a practice, so this is virgin video, if you get my drift. Wish me luck, everybody. I'm not happy about it, but never mind. So we turn the dots around, so now the stuff should be coming out. So as I go forwards, that's rubbish. Oh dear. Yeah, there we go. Right, can you see that? It's absolutely atrocious. And I think that was $19 very badly spent on that particular one. That's no good at all, is it? Absolutely no good. You now see my video on how I mucked up the lift out section. But when I cut the rails, they sprung, etc. That was filmed about 3 odd months ago because I've only recently got into putting stuff on the computer and uploading it to YouTube. Now, unfortunately, there's a chap called Mark. His site is Western Centurion. Have a good look at it. In the last couple of weeks, he's put up a video where his lift out section, he has used a product called a Vero board. I'm sure it's Vero board, and he's actually put the Vero board under the track, and he's then soldered the track to the Vero board, and when he actually cuts it, it's now all stuck in one place, so it cannot spring. Now, if I'd known that 3 months ago, I could have possibly have continued with my lift out section and had it working as I wanted to. Alas, I didn't. I just hope this might help somebody. So, thank you very much. Another little problem in my saga of things that go wrong was my ballasting. Now, I did this area, okay, and it was really looking good. Loved it, but I did one thing wrong. I didn't leave it long enough before I decided to sweep it up. So we lost a bit of track there, a little bit of ballast there. We also lost it there. We lost a big chunk over there, and it's all because I didn't let it set properly, and it just decided it was going to come off, and come off it did. Now also I had a section in here where you can just see the green. That was a mixture of gravel and sort of green grass, well, you know, small feelings of green grass, and of course thought it was all dry and everything and hoovered it up, and bingo, absolute rubbish. So if you want to learn anything, the best thing to do is wait a couple of days at least until it really is nice and dry, and then when it is nice and dry, then you better sweep it up and it'll be nice and solid. As it is, I've got to do this all over again. This is another one of those mistakes that we all do from time to time. I had a lovely bag from a previous railway going back 30 years. I don't know if you can see that. A lovely bag of cat litter, all different sizes, and I'm thinking to myself, what a fantastic ballast that would make. So what I did, I put all the cat litter around here. This is normal ballast, okay, and I did this 5 days ago. Now 5 days ago, solid, solid, solid. Look at that. Cat litter is absolutely rubbish for doing ballast. So if you're going to learn anything from me and my lovely mistakes, do not use cat ballast. Well, not cat ballast. Do not use cat tray stuff, because it doesn't work. This is not so much a mistake, but what I would do differently if I started again. Colours of cables. I have got an orange, a black and red twisted. I have got a pink and black. I've got a thin red. I've got a thin green. I've got a green and white. I've got a 24x2 red and a 24x2 black and a 24x2 green. And I've got 2 shades of blue. Completely not required. If I was going to do it again, and my advice to anybody starting off, choose 4 colours and keep to it. So your bus wire, whatever, black and red if you like, black and orange if you like, and your droppers exactly the same. And if you're going to do your lighting bus wire, then choose something like an orange and blue or something like that. But don't do this, because this is a total waste of time, and I would do it differently. Now, the normal system of joining the cables to the bus wire is this little device. Very efficient. I think they call it a suitcase. Your cable goes in, let's see if we can do it. Okay, one cable goes in all the way through. Okay, the next cable with a dead end on it, which I can't find, there's one, that goes in there, and to the stop you press that down with your pliers, which grips both. That comes over the top, sandwiches it together and seals it, so there's no electrical contact. Now I have to use 10 seconds. What have I done with them? The chocolate box, you know, the chocolate box things. Here we go. Right, I use these chocolate strips to connect my dropper wires to here, and then I wire that into one of those. So if needs be, I can unscrew that and change the wires around, or add other wires to it. If I made a mistake and get another one to come down, I put 2 or 3 wires into each side if I wanted to. Now the one thing I discovered too late was this product. Now this is very, very similar, in as much that your wire goes in the middle and you fold it over and it cramps the wire. That's fine. But if you can just see the little metal bit in there, this flat plate slides through the slot in the back, and joins up with that metal piece there. So when you do that, you push that in, your cable, which is now in there, is slotted into this piece of metal. So if you wanted to, and you made a mistake, you can pull this out. Come on. You can pull the slot, the spade out and do it again, which you can't do when you're using the clamp-on fold-down suitcase. So that's just my little things that I would change if I was going to do my wiring all over again.